This is NewsFighters, where we fight the news so you don't have to. With Dylan Behan.
Yes, g'day fighters, we're back with the NewsFighters Year in Review for 2025. I'm Dylan Behan, the Peter Russell Clark of Wacky Clips. And stick around because your mate and mine, Stefan Pazur, is back with his 7th annual Year in Review in Showbiz and Entertainment.
Hey guys, if you're ever going to a Coldplay concert, please wear a hazmat suit so nobody knows you're going to an actual Coldplay concert.
Yes, and what an absolute blur of a year 2025's been. I don't know about you, but I've been casual freelancing 3 jobs at once, and most of what's in this episode will be news to me. But let's kick it off in January when Sydney accidentally found itself the cultural capital of Australia with a huge new attraction.
They started queuing before dawn. Thousands of people.
It's insane.
And so what was Sydney-siders queuing for? Croissants, ramen, coffee after 3 p.m, an apartment rental under $500 a week? No, it was even more boring than that.
A corpse flower dubbed Putricia has bloomed at the Royal Botanic Garden in Sydney.
A flower. What did you expect in a city where everyone's priced out of having a backyard? Sorry, Jimmy, the queue for the flowers too long, but the queue for the patch of grass and the tree are a little bit shorter. You know what a tree is, don't you? Do they teach you about those in school? And so what did the corpse flower smell like?
Cat food, it's been left out in the sun, day-old vomit.
Probably vomit.
Yes, normally Sydney-siders queuing up to smell vomit are just waiting for a night ride bus. Moving on to February when the biggest theft of the year reverberated around the world. And no, I'm not talking about the Louvre heist. It was even bigger than that.
Members of a tennis club on Auckland's North Shore have been shocked by the theft of their honesty box. Campbell's Bay Tennis Club members came to play their regular matches last Wednesday morning only to find a hole where the honesty box for court fees used to be.
Yes, that's right, a hole appeared in Auckland, which, wouldn't that be a paradox, a hole within a hole? Anyways, no, seriously, I love this story. It was probably my favourite news story of the year because you know why? It was the same month that Trump threw Zelensky out of the White House, the world was edging towards World War III, Gaza was getting worse and worse, floods were lashing Australia, and what was good old New Zealand reporting on? Someone stole a tennis money! And the biggest impact from this theft will probably be they finally have a plotline for a second series of Underbelly NZ. Moving on to March, and while Cyclone Alfred was causing airport chaos in Queensland, one young idiot was causing airport chaos in Victoria.
A terrifying ordeal has played out on the tarmac at Avalon Airport near Geelong, where a young man armed with a shotgun and knives boarded a Jetstar flight bound for Sydney.
What the hell? I mean, I'm not allowed to take a hot coffee on a Jetstar flight, but this guy can get on with a gun and knives? Talk about hypocrisy.
Need to get urgently. Just passenger with a gun.
And just like at the Bondi terrorist attack in December, a bunch of everyday Aussies stood up, put themselves into the line of danger, and said, "Not on my watch." But mostly it was a shearer named Barry.
There was a guy next to us named Barry. He got him in a headlock. The guy next to us, Barry, and the pilot saved us, 100%.
And in typical Aussie fashion, Barry was pretty unfussed about the alleged attempted hijacking.
Before we know it, there was a shotgun appeared, and I was worried about her being shot, so all I could do was push her out of the way, get the gun out of the way. Like, well, what else can you do when there's something's going to happen on a plane? You can't let someone start shooting and whatever on a plane.
And aren't we lucky? Barry only wound up able to defuse this situation because someone else booked the front row seat for him.
I'm no good at booking all these flights and things, so I got this young bloke in here to do it for me. He said, "I'm going to put you in the best seat of the house." And when after this happened, I went up to him and I said, "You surely put me in the best seat, you bugger."
Yes, and it turns out when Barry called shotgun, he also got handed a literal shotgun. Moving on, and this year I worked on Planet America, so of course I wasn't able to look away from the insanity that has been Trump 2.0, which was on full display when he made his first major policy announcement in April.
Donald Trump declares Liberation Day.
So-called Liberation Day.
Liberation Day.
Yes, that's right, Liberation Day, in which America was freed from the shackles of trade liberalization by Trump imposing a bunch of punitive reciprocal tariffs which weren't reciprocal at all. And he sure wanted it to sound like he was making history.
This is one of the most important days, in my opinion, in American history.
It's our declaration of economic independence.
Yes, and it was economic independence until Trump discovered that, wow, you can't grow bananas or coffee in Minnesota in January, and whoops, car components have to cross the US-Canada border up to 8 times during a car's manufacturing process. Not like Trump not to do some thorough research. Meanwhile, the other big story was Pope Francis was healthy 1 minute on Sky News UK.
It's great that he came out on the balcony yesterday at the Vatican and he cheered and he said, brothers and sisters, happy Easter. And of course, all the people who'd gone to see him, who'd made that pilgrimage, were just delighted to see that he was looking healthier.
And literally, as soon as she stopped talking, he died.
Yeah, I think
Really appreciate both coming in with us this morning. Thank you so much. Some breaking news to bring you now. This is a statement from the Vatican. A short while ago, His Eminence Cardinal Farrell announced with sorrow the death of Pope Francis.
Yes, of course, it's very sad to hear that Pope Francis died from a stroke, but not completely unexpected, because I don't know if you've seen a pattern here, but the Pope is generally a very old guy. Just for once, I'd like to hear in the news, the Pope died today as a result of his skateboarding injuries, or the Pope died today as a result of going on a drug bender with Charlie Sheen. Come on, Pope Leo, this is your chance to live a little. Moving on to May, when the Australian federal election happened, with the results seemingly called before any of us even got back from the bottle shop. And didn't the media get creative with their reporting of it?
Labor's landslide win.
Labor landslide.
Labor landslide.
Labor landslide.
Well, that's right, Labor landslide.
Geez, journalists, don't look too hard in those thesauruses. You might find a second word one day. Anyways, the result caused Peter Dutton to say the least divisive thing I've ever heard him say.
We didn't do well enough during this campaign. That much is obvious tonight, and I accept full responsibility for that.
Even Sky News diehards like Peter Credlin said it was a bad campaign.
The Liberals ran a bad campaign. It was a shocker.
And one of the biggest campaign shockers was Peter Dutton's backflip when he went from hating work from home.
People are still working from home, including the Home Affairs Department, which is completely unacceptable. People refusing to go back to work in Canberra is not acceptable.
To absolutely loving work from home.
I strongly support work from home. I've been very clear about that. We strongly support flexible workplace arrangements.
Yes, this was the single biggest election campaign backflip since John Howard started trimming his eyebrows. And the other big coalition vote drain was their nuclear energy policy. But at least it provided some great metaphor fuel for journos on election night, like Seven's Mark Riley.
The party that chose nuclear energy as its policy has exploded in a nuclear bomb.
Yes, Duttenheimer self-imploded and Susan Lee became Liberal leader. Please note this is correct at time of recording, but check for latest updates. Back to America in June, where Trump's ICE deportation raids led to widespread protests and a hardcore law enforcement response in Los Angeles, where Nine's Lauren Tomasi was caught in the crossfire, except it wasn't crossfire at all. They just aimed a gun right at her and shot her.
You just shut the fuck up. You okay?
Yes, very confronting scenes there in LA, where normally to get shot you have to go out in public at night. Thankfully, it was just rubber bullets and Lauren was all right. But I have to praise the very typically Aussie response there, which was to swear profusely at the American law enforcement gunman. Yes, Americans sue, Australians swear.
You just shut the fuck up.
Moving on to July, when we saw the death of an entire beloved TV franchise that got taken over by Stephen Colbert.
Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May.
Yes, The Late Show's axing, proving that the TV industry is about as healthy as your local blacksmith or laserdisc rental store. So next year, look forward to CBS, I don't know, probably running reruns of Bloodsport, while Colbert goes over to another network and has a #1 show, but it only has the budget for him to, I don't know, film it at home on his phone in the bath like he did during COVID, probably. And in July, Australia got the verdict it was eagerly awaiting.
Aaron Patterson found guilty
of taking over your entire podcast feed and workplace banter for 2 years. Oh, and of course the 3 charges of murder. But didn't Seven's Chris Reason have an absolute field day with all the punny wordplay he'd been saving up for the verdict?
Patterson had cooked up a plan to murder her in-laws. Seriously served murder for main course. It was a recipe for disaster. The 50-year-old who'd served up death, now likely to have to serve life.
Yes, a tragic event that led to a true crime tourism boom in rural Victoria.
It has been quite good because all the accommodation, all the eateries, they're all full.
Yes, and of course the least popular item on the menu there is the foraged death cap mushroom beef Wellington. I think I'll have the cross sandwich. On to August, when climate change hits centre stage, as it does every year now because, you know, we live in hell. And following on from the horrific Queensland and Texas floods, South Australia got hit by an algal bloom that was so bad that Environment Minister Murray Watt couldn't even say what it was.
I accept that South Australians think that governments were too slow to respond to this event. Our primary focus has been trying to deal with the event. One of the contributing factors to this event, there is a lot of concern about what this event might mean. First of all, to try to understand this event, to make the community aware of the event necessary to understand this event, for responding to the event, to deal with this event, becoming affected by the event through this event, right throughout this event.
Yes, and there's no surer sign that something is truly apocalyptic and bad than when it echoes the classic Mitchell Webb game show sketch that went viral during COVID.
Well, it's between 600 and 750 days since the event. Well, he's probably just going over and over the event in his head. Please don't think about the event.
Moving on to September, when the world stopped as tragedy struck down a leader.
Anthony Albanese was at a climate treaty signing ceremony when he realised he was wearing a pink shirt and everyone else was in their navy blue formal shirts.
Yes, and you could hear the Aussie media breathe a sigh of relief as they finally had something interesting to report on from a Pacific Islands Forum meeting.
Failure of clothing coordination.
Rocking up in the wrong shirt.
The Prime Minister's wardrobe faux pas in the Pacific.
Copped some flack for a wardrobe mishap.
Yes, but still not as bad as the time Bob Hawke rocked up to the UN General Assembly in his female body inspector t-shirt. Typical Hawkey. And that wouldn't be the only time this year that the media pulled on Albo for wearing the wrong shirt, as in October, this happened.
Anthony Albanese coming down the steps wearing a t-shirt with the words Joy Division. Now, I am a great rock and roll fan, as viewers know.
Yes, world-renowned rock and roll aficionado Rowan Dean of Sky News there, criticising Albanese for his choice of band t-shirt. Sky News loved the controversies so much it rolled on night after night.
It's now night 3 of T-shirt Gate.
Yes, forget the 12 days of Christmas. Sky News has the 12 days of T-shirt Gate on the third night of T-shirt Gate. I don't have an end to that joke. Anyways, opposition leader Susan Lee was so outraged she called for an apology from Albo from the floor of Parliament.
This T-shirt is an insult to all, and it fails the basic tests of leadership. He should apologise immediately.
Yes, disgraceful behaviour. Still wearing 70s punk t-shirts when you've owned multiple investment properties. I mean, this is just, Albo's just a dude from Marrickville. This is every time I leave the house and go down to Marrickville. It's 60-year-old grey-haired dudes in punk t-shirts who probably own an entire block of flats to themselves. This is just who Albo is. But no, Susan Lee said the issue was with the origin of the band name.
The name was taken from the wing of a Nazi concentration camp.
I mean, she could have a point there, could have a point if you know absolutely nothing about rock music and I don't know, it's the 1950s and I don't know, you're a World War II scholar and you don't have Google, but for everyone else, Joy Division is clearly a rock band. Now, if you ask me, I think Susan Lee should just be thankful that Albo has mainstream rock music taste. I mean, imagine the outrage if he'd worn a shirt from some other actual real-life punk band. I mean, they have names like Anal The Child Molesters, Viet Cong. Imagine the outrage then. Sky News would be up to like day 102 of T-shirt Gate right now. Moving on to November, and thankfully Susan Lee's criticisms moved on from T-shirt choice and onto the economy.
Australians deserve affordable energy.
Affordable energy for Australians. Affordable energy for Australian households. But Australians deserve affordable energy.
And the Coalition's genius plan for making energy cheaper?
The Liberal Party will remove a net zero target from our policy.
And this coincidentally happened the same month as the Albanese government announced this.
Households will soon have access to free electricity in the middle of the day to encourage more energy usage when solar power is at its highest.
Yes, that's right. The Coalition wants to get rid of the very targets that are helping make energy cheaper to help make energy cheaper. It just doesn't make sense. It's like saying, we're going to make beer cheaper by getting rid of happy hour or abolishing the 3 hours in the middle of the day when beer falls from the sky for free. It just doesn't make sense. Also in November, finally some hope for American Democrats who are sick of living in a late-stage capitalist hellscape tax and tip not included.
The Big Apple has delivered a resounding yes to New York's first Muslim socialist mayor, Zoran Momdani.
Yes, with Momdani promising free buses, cheaper rents and higher taxes on the top end of town, it's no surprise that establishment Democrat figures like Chuck Schumer wouldn't endorse him.
Are you going to vote for Momdani?
Did you vote for Armani or Cuomo?
Look, I voted, and I look forward to working with the next mayor to help New York City.
You've been asked numerous times if you will endorse Zoran Momdani for New York City mayor.
All I can tell you is I'm going to continue talking to him.
Yes, yet another clear sign that rich establishment Democrats actually would prefer to live under Donald Trump than a progressive Democrat because, well, Donald Trump's not going to raise taxes on their yachts or investment portfolios. It's just that simple, people. Maybe I should get a job on Planet America. Back in Australia, and my favourite wacky clip of the year came when the biggest piece of public infrastructure opened in Melbourne in 40 years, the new Metro Tunnel, and weren't Melburnians ecstatic?
Will this make a difference in your life?
Not really. Nah.
I mean, what do you expect from a Melburnian? It wasn't a question about the AFL. Moving on to the final month of the year, hopefully, December, when Australia's ban on social media accounts for under 16s came in. And didn't Anthony Albanese just love lecturing kids on how they should be spending their time now?
Start a new sport, learn a new instrument, or read that book that's been sitting there on your shelf for some time.
And immediately after hearing that, every teenage boy put down their flaming bag of dog poo, walked over to their bookshelf and picked up the long-awaited copies of books by Jordan Peterson, Andrew Tate and Milo Yiannopoulos they'd been meaning to get to. What could possibly go wrong, Albo? Good thinking. And it's no surprise that teens have found a way around the ban.
Many are downloading alternatives like Lemonade and Yope, even LinkedIn.
Yes, Albo's social media ban is driving the kids to LinkedIn, where they're probably writing posts like, super excited to launch an exciting and dynamic new venture today, egging the lodge because Albo has forced me to use LinkedIn. Hashtag living the dream. Now back to America, where this happened in December.
President Donald Trump presented with the inaugural FIFA Peace Prize for what FIFA said was in recognition of his exceptional and extraordinary actions to promote peace and unity around the world.
Oh, look, what a surprise. The most corrupt organisation in the world giving an award to the most corruptible man in order to placate him so their overpriced, price-gouging, ball-kicking event can go ahead. What's next? Donald Trump winning the Casino Owners Association Award for least bankrupt casino owner? I mean, I think I speak for everyone when I say, can you believe this guy was only inaugurated in January? January! There's 3 years left, everyone! We need to pace ourselves. Ugh. Good thing, I guess, that he just rescheduled weed because, Americans are going to have to smoke a lot of it to get through the next 3 years. And joking aside, sadly, in December, Australia confronted its worst ever terrorist attack with the horrific anti-Semitic mass shooting on Bondi Beach. But I can say one thing, and that is the very best of Australia was on display that day. From the lifesavers and emergency responders to the multiple unarmed heroes who confronted and disarmed the terrorists. But it hasn't been on display from the Australian media, who has been playing the horrific attack and gunfire on a constant loop, and also starting to treat the lives of the terrorists as if they're new overnight celebrities.
Naveed's mother reportedly saying he was a model son, a former student of Cabramatta High School.
This is the hotel room that staff say that Sajid and Naveed Akram were in. As you can see, it is a very small space.
So media, please, can we just stop investigating these horrible terrorists and let the investigators do the rest? I don't want to know what their Spotify Wrapped or coffee order was. And can we all please just hope that 2026 is a time of healing, hope, harmony, and less violence and division than we had in 2025.
Hi, I'm NewsFighters showbiz reporter Stefan Pazur, taking you through what the year was in 2025. First up, movies. The biggest movie of the year was Leonardo DiCaprio's One Battle After Another, which I think is about fighting those idiots in the cinema doing the chicken jockey dance when they watched Minecraft. They're the real sinners if you ask me. If only I had Liam Neeson's naked gun to shoot all those idiots in the begonias. The begonias. The ads before the movies are getting so long now. I went to the movies one night and the ads went on for 2 hours and 36 minutes. Oh no, wait. That was just the movie F1 starring Brad Pitt. It was like a big, long advertising remake of The Wizard, replacing Nintendo with big cars. Vroom vroom. In Prestige TV this year, my favourite show to binge watch was 9 Perfect Strangers, and by that I mean watching 9 episodes of my favourite 90s sitcom, Perfect Strangers, back to back after work every day.
Don't be ridiculous.
The biggest cult show this year was Amazon's The Summer I Turned Pretty, which I can't relate to because I've always been pretty. In Australian TV this year, The Project and Q&A were both cancelled, proving that all good things must come to an end, and also The Project and Q&A. The worst TV show of the year was With Love, Meghan on Netflix, where Meghan Markle showed parents how to chop fruit for their kids.
You don't have to do a big platter of this.
Wow, thanks Megan. Have you got any tips on how to get a Netflix show with 0 talent? Because I really need that so I can afford housing next year. And also in TV, the streaming service Max launched in Australia, not to be confused with the music channel Max, which also relaunched when MTV left the country. Then one of them changed the name to HBO Max, but I don't know which one. This is too complicated and confusing. I'm just going to watch DVDs of my favourite 90s sitcom, Perfect Strangers. That should solve everything.
Don't be ridiculous.
Netflix announced it's buying Warner Brothers, which led to Paramount announcing a hostile takeover. I don't care about any of this, just can one of the streaming services please add my favourite sitcom, Perfect Strangers? Oh my god.
Don't be ridiculous.
In music, the most streamed song of the year in Australia was Ordinary by Alex Warren. That's not the title, that's just my description of his music. Very, very ordinary. The Wiggles were in a controversy after they appeared in a video for the supposedly drug-influenced song Ecstasy by the Aussie singer Kelly Holiday. This is the biggest controversy since Dora the Explorer appeared in a music video for Snoop Dogg's Smoke Weed Every Day.
Smoke weed every day.
That's the year in showbiz and entertainment news for 2025. Make sure that your 2026 is a good one. Until next year, bye for now.
Alrighty everyone, that's NewsFighters Year in Review for 2025. A big thank you to Stefan Pazur for stopping by and doing a showbiz report. NewsFighters, as always, written, produced and edited by me, Dylan Behan, on Gadigal land. And NewsFighters remains on hiatus, but you know, once a year I like getting the microphone out and shouting about my wacky clips. So thanks for listening and watching. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/newsfighters. We're on Facebook, X, Threads and Instagram at NewsFightersPod. And don't forget to hit subscribe in your podcasting app and YouTube at youtube.com/newsfighters in case I get bored and decide to bring this baby back sometime. Anyways, that's it. All those links are in the show notes. Thanks for listening. Keep fighting and bye for now.
This is NewsFighters, where we fight the news so you don't have to.
Go away.